Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Happy Friday. So I have a few announcements before I bring on today's guest. And of course, for anyone watching the replay, I am Evelyn of Pink Sheep Design. And today is Make New Friends Friday. Pink Sheep and Friends, where I bring on other people within the fiber art community to come and chat. Thank you, Jenna. Yes, got the hair done, got the hair did the other day. Pretty happy with it. Actually, like, really happy with it. If anyone is in the Birmingham, Alabama area and is looking for someone who can make some hair magic, you can check out Kat at Forecast Salon. Because she did a fabulous job, because I'm always concerned about, all of my hair burning off. But I think she did a fabulous job. So super, super happy. I have something just as bright as my hair to share with you guys today. And that is that we have bright fluorescent neon green hybrid hooks that are now in the Etsy shop. So in gearing up for the holidays, we are trying to build up our inventory. And so this is this week's release. So we're trying to release new hooks every week so that we can build that stock up for the holidays and the aftermath of the holidays. So these are available now. They're $25. These are our uncoated hooks. We have them available in the Susan Bates inline style, like this one here. And we also have them in the tapered style. We have one 8mm left. These are going quick. So we're definitely going to start making more of those. But again, they are all stamped. Got our nice ergonomic hook. I have not glued this one in yet, but this is what these look like, and they are available now. So if you've been waiting on a fun new color, these are also blacklight reactive for anyone who's looking forward to Halloween. Super fun, bright green color. So those are available in the shop. And then the other update that I have before we bring on today's guest is that the Nancy Bralette crochet pattern is live. I'm so excited about this pattern. I'm wearing one now. I actually need to make a reel about the fact that I have like 7 or 8 of them now, because I just love them so much and I wear them every single day. It is truly something that has become a huge part of my wardrobe. It is a size inclusive, beginner friendly pattern. It does not tie around the neck. It has the cross in the back so that you don't have something hanging on your neck. And you also have the option, let me show you guys. I'm dropping yarn. You have a modification in the pattern to make the strap wider. So you see the strap is wide up until it goes over my shoulder. And at that point, it can become skinny again to fit through the straps in the back like this. So super customizable. I'm really excited about this pattern and just happy that it worked out and that it's actually a great pattern for a lot of different people and not just for people who have little bitty chests like me. So great for everybody. But those are the two big announcements for today. New hooks are in the Etsy shop in the most popular sizes so far. So 5mm up to 8mm and a few smaller ones. And then the Nancy Bralette is live. So I'm super excited to have gotten to share that. And today I'm super excited to talk all about crochet hooks with Annalynn and I'm not sure, I need to, when she joins me, let me see if I can get her on here. Let's see if she is here. There she is. Let's see if it works. Fingers crossed. Thank you, Jenna. Yes, all the sizes within the pattern, and it's not made to measure. I will give you all the instructions you need for each size. Okay, let's see. Annalynn, if you are here, let me know if you can see the request and if you can join. Always got my fingers crossed that it works. I sent you a request to join. Let me try again. because now it's saying it's not there anymore. Oh, it still says that you're invited. So check around your screen, and if you don't see it, there's a little button on the bottom right of the screen. It's this one right here, if you can see it. That's got the little video thing with the plus sign, and you can press that to request to be in the video. That should help. It says you are unable to join. Oh no. See if you can hit the button instead of me inviting you, and we'll keep trying. And if you have to leave the live and shut the app down and open it back up, so let me know when you're looking at the live screen at the bottom. Do you see the little video camera with the plus sign? It's next to like the little question mark box. If you don't, try logging out, exiting the app, and coming back in. See if that helps. And we'll work through this together. This is technology, you guys. This is how it works. Well, while we are hanging out and waiting, I would love to know what you guys are doing today on this wonderful Friday. It's actually not too bad. The weather's not too bad here today, so it should be a nice day. And let me know what you're doing this weekend. If you're crocheting, if you've got plans, just let me know. Okay, I've got the request. I'm accepting the request. Let's see if it works. Fingers crossed. Everybody cross their fingers. Ah! Woo!
I got it to work.
Yay! Hey, no worries. That's why I was like, okay, I've always got my fingers crossed anytime I invite someone to the live, because I know like anything can happen.
Like nothing was showing up on my computer, so I had to pull out my phone.
That's probably, I don't think you can do it on the computer.
Yeah. Why.
And I think they have gotten to a point now where you can post directly from a desktop on Instagram, which is...
You would think that it would make more sense, right? But
yeah, they would let you. Yeah.
Your hair is amazing. I love the color.
Thank you. I was super excited, but it makes me nervous every time, because every time I'm like, oh my gosh, if my hair burns off, or if it just gets in bad shape, I'm going to be so sad. But luckily, like so far, still touchable,
It looks really nice. I love it. I will not dye my hair just because I have this white stripe. It's like, yeah. I can like leave it out to dye the rest if I wanted to, but it just seems like such a pain. So I just don't.
Yeah. I mean, and it is. I know for me, when I got to college, I wanted to start dyeing my hair, but I was too afraid to bleach it. Like I was super afraid of bleach. So I only went darker, and it wasn't until four years ago was the first time that I had a stylist I was super comfortable with. And I was like, let's just do it. Let's do it. Let's go crazy. And then after that, I let it grow all the way out, because I was like, health of my hair, I'm going to let it grow all the way out before I do anything else. It's been 4 years. So I was like, okay, let's do it again.
It's really long. Well, this year I had my hair like almost down to like my lower back, and then I just like tried to chop it all off. I thought I was gonna have a pixie for a while, and then my husband's like, please don't. Like I really like it. Fine. I'm not, I don't know. My hair usually like lives in a bun, so when it's like this, I like usually have to have it down. But now that it's like I could put it in a pony again, I'm like, yay.
Yeah.
Keep it out of the way.
I felt that way about, I told her, because she chopped quite a bit of my hair off when I first went to see her. It's still long, but it was like here. So it was like 3 to 4 inches. And I told her I still wanted braids, because I really like wearing the braids. You got to have the length for that. So I feel like she did a great job. But it's nerve-wracking finding someone new. We just moved to Alabama. It's still almost been a year. So finding all of these new people to, do your hair, and finding new doctors, and finding, all of these new people.
It's overwhelming. Like, it's exciting, but it's also like, it's overwhelming, especially like doctors and hairstylists and stuff, because you get so used to the people that you had before. So change is hard.
Yes. So let's do a quick intro for anyone who is maybe not following you and does not know what you do. Just kind of a quick who you are and what you do.
Okay, hi, my name is Annalynn, and I have Sophari Crochet, and we make resin crochet handles. I work with my husband a little bit, and we have two daughters, Sophie and Ari, and that's how we got our business name. And we live in Longview, Washington.
Awesome. So that was actually what I was trying to ask you as I was trying to bring you on in the first place. Is like, I don't actually know how to pronounce
Mm-hmm.
your tag. So
Yep,
that's perfect. So
Sophari.
it's almost like safari, like going on a safari.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So when I was pregnant with Ari, we were getting a new car, and
Huh?
we were like, oh, we should get the license plate. Like you can have like the 7 letters,
Yeah.
and so it was like Safari for Sophie and Ari, and then it just
Mhm.
kind of became this thing for Kyle and I. And I had a soap business before that was Safari soaps, and then when we decided to do crochet hooks, it was like obviously it's got to be Safari crochet. So
Yeah.
it's for our daughters.
That's awesome. And I just had someone say, Critters and Crochet says fellow Washingtonian here. So I'm sure you have a few people there. I was making sure I didn't miss any more comments. And just so you guys know, if you guys have questions or comments that you don't want me to miss, because the chat goes quick because it shows everybody joining in, be sure to place them in the comment box. So at the bottom right of your screen, there's a little speech bubble with a question mark in there. You can pop your questions in there, and that will ensure that I don't completely just space out and miss them, and make sure that we cover any questions that you have. So the starting question that I usually go with is just, when did you start crocheting? Did you learn to knit first? Did you crochet first? And what was that story like for you?
So I did learn how to knit first, but I'm not very good. I just recently picked it back up. But I tried knitting. I wasn't very good at it. I put it down, and then like a year or so later, Ari, she was like 5 at the time. She
Mhm.
watched like a PBS show, and they were showing the amigurumi dolls, and she's like, "Mom, you have to make me one. Like I
Yeah.
need one." And I was like, "I don't know how to crochet. Like I can't just make this for you." And she was persistent for about 2 weeks where she was asking me like almost daily for this. She's like, I know you
Uh,
can do it. I know you could do it. And I went to Joann's, and I found Whimsical Stitches book, all like her first amigurumi book. And something about that book in particular just made sense. And I started making amigurumi first and really fell in love with the craft. I like was just constantly making things. And but the thing with amigurumi is that it can be really hard on your hands,
oh yeah.
especially if you use like cotton yarn, which is not stretchy, it's a little
Mhm.
stiff. And then I size down to like a 3.25 with most of my projects, and that's like really hard on the hands,
Yeah.
especially if you tight tension, and I do have tight tension.
Yeah.
And so I was like trying all these different hooks to see what would be comfortable, and I just was not loving it. Like, I tried Clovers, and I loved Clovers, but I really didn't like their handles.
Mhm.
And like it was making my palm all red. So I'm not sure if I have like an actual allergy to the handle, but it was like constantly rubbing this raw. Um, and so I was really sad that I couldn't use those. And then I found
Mhm.
furls, and furls was amazing, but my tight tension made me break hooks. And
Uh,
I was dealing with some like quality issues with them too. And this was kind of like when they were like smaller company, but
mhm.
I was getting really frustrated because it's like I wanted to crochet, but my hand would hurt a lot, and I wanted an ergonomic handle. And um, my brother-in-law was making like a resin top table, and he's like, "Oh, you guys should just like make a mold for a handle that you want. You can use resin." And he knew that I liked playing with colors because I have a background with soap, and so like I was used to playing with like glitter and mica, and he's like, "You can easily do this." And so my husband and I, we spent probably about 7, 8 months just trying to come up with some kind of crochet hook that I could use,
Yeah.
and I started posting on Instagram and got some interest of people wanting them as well. And then around COVID is when I opened up my shop.
Yeah. So when you first started with the crocheting, well, with knitting, how old were you when you learned how to knit?
Um, I I must have been about 25, 26.
Okay. So
Um,
older. It wasn't like you
yeah.
learned as a kid or anything.
No, my mom
Um,
tried teaching me to crochet when I was a kid, but that was like
yeah.
a nightmare. She is not the type of teacher that I need for crochet. So
I,
thank you, YouTube.
yeah. And I feel like it's so different with, what our parents can teach us to do or not. I mean, you definitely have to have, and it's not just one person or the other. It's, their teaching style and your learning style. So,
Yes, very much so in that situation. Like, I'm so glad that I got into crochet now because she really loved it too, but she just could not teach me.
yep.
And so now we have that together, and that's really special.
And there's so many different people on YouTube that are teaching. It's almost like you could, if you don't like one person, you can find another person. So I feel like that has been super helpful for those of us that were at the age to where, like, when we decided we wanted to do that, YouTube was available and had, that kind of content. Yeah.
Yes, very
Yeah.
much so.
I mean, I've had a few people on these Pink Sheep and Friends who said, like, when I was learning, I didn't have that, and I was like, I
Yeah.
was right on that cusp because I feel like when I was in college, YouTube was still like just funny cat videos, like you didn't really go to it to learn. But by the time I was in grad school and I was picking crochet back up or knitting at the time, I was trying to knit again. And for the life of me, I literally had these needles in my hand and I was like, I don't know how to cast on. Like I just couldn't
Mhm.
remember. It was not like riding a bike. Like I could not
No,
remember.
no. So before crochet, like I picked up knitting, I was determined to make Kyle, my husband, a blanket. And I started
Uh-huh.
just doing like the garter stitch squares. And I
Hmm.
knew how to do that. I could cast on, I could like bind off. I could not do anything else, didn't even know what purling was. And then
Yeah.
I just like set it down, got overwhelmed by it. And then just recently I've been really wanting to learn and I like picked them up and I could not do like a single stitch. And so I'm taking lessons at my local yarn shop
That's
actually. This has
awesome.
been
Yeah.
amazing. It's been really fun. And
Yeah.
I've been knitting more with my sister-in-law, my little lodge, Lindsay. She also makes crochet hooks, but she's
Hmm.
been bitten by the knitting bug, and so we're kind
Yeah.
of enabling each other a lot, which is fun.
Yeah. And do you guys live close by?
We're about an hour apart.
Okay, not bad. It's not like you're on different
It's
sides
not
of the country.
terrible, but yeah, it does take a little bit of coordinating to get together,
Yeah.
but we're pretty close.
Yeah. So when it comes to the fiber community,
Mhm.
what did that look like? Because I know a lot of us start out and we don't jump right into the community. I mean, we pick up knitting on our own, we get a book, we don't really, I know for me, I didn't really even realize or think about the fact that there might be a community out there because when I started, I was too young. And then when I picked it back up, we didn't have like a local yarn shop where I was. So there really wasn't that community. So how did you get into that community and what has the community meant for you as a maker?
I think I was like very aware that there was a possibility of a community because
Mhm.
I did soap before and there was a really big soap community on Instagram. So I
Mhm.
created a personal page to just kind of lurk mostly.
Mhm.
And so I was like following a lot of people like Tony, Teal Yarn Crafts, or
Mhm.
Sorella, and like Planet June, which is fantastic for amigurumi, by the way, if you're trying to get
Yeah.
into that. But so I kind of started just like following people and getting um, an idea of what the community's like. But it wasn't really until making crochet hooks that I felt like I was actually in a community rather than just kind of lurking. Um, I I've met so many like fantastic people through this crochet community and even like the crochet community because um there's a few of us that kind of just like talk and everything and we're
Mhm.
they're super helpful. I know when I was starting out I would ask questions to Colleen from Luxie Loops or My Darn Yarn. She's the whole reason why Kyle and I, like, why we even have a drill press. Kyle was
Ah,
using a drill to drill out our handles for a couple months before I talked to her. And she's like, girl, you need a drill press. Get one, please.
yeah,
And like, just everybody's so helpful and everybody's so kind. And I really love that everybody kind of roots for each other.
yeah, yeah.
That's super nice. When
And
this can be kind of hard sometimes, right? Like it's more than you think it's going to be. It's
yes,
amazing, but it's also very demanding and hard.
yes. And I feel like it can be difficult when you're coming into a very niche community, so hook makers, and it's what's okay for me to ask. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's those questions of like none of us want to feel like we're stepping on toes or, trying to get people's secrets, but I do feel like, the people for me, and I would love to know if this is the same for you, but the people that purchase our hooks,
Mm-hmm.
the most, I mean, the most avid hook buyers buy hooks from like all of the major people I follow. Like they
So,
want to support everybody.
yes. So I'm okay. So even though I make hooks, I am a huge hook collector. I was
Ah,
telling you before, I need one of yours still, but uh,
yes.
well, hold on. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, let's see. Show and
So
tell.
I
Oh my gosh.
have a huge collection
Oh, I
from
love that.
bookmakers, and
What are those in? Are those like planters? What are that's
yeah,
amazing.
um, and I just put them up there, and I like display them every time I see them. It makes me happy, and it's like my friends.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to know, since you are a hook collector, if you want to pick a few, I would love to see what some of your favorites have been, if you want to give them a shout out.
Aren't you
Yeah.
gonna grab some?
Who doesn't love show and tell?
Right? Let's see if I can grab a couple of these. Okay, so I have to shout out Lindsay.
Yeah.
She makes these beautiful hybrid hooks. She's
Uh-huh.
taking a break right now, but she might come back. I'm trying to get her to come back.
Yeah.
But I love these. They're the resin and the wood. And then um, we have the Harper Baby hooks, the beautiful mermaid
Is
tails.
that
There's just,
clay or
mhm.
resin?
This one is clay. This
Yeah.
one's clay. And then Tasha from More Creation, she made me this hook
Ah.
specifically. We did a hook trade, and it was my favorite like color combination is usually blue and yellow. And
Yeah.
so she was like feeling those colors too, and like, what could we do? And oh, actually, I can grab the one that I made for that trade.
Yeah.
Um,
What's the little doodad on the top?
It's an octopus. So I am kind of
Ah.
obsessed with octopuses. And so she made me the blue ringed octopus, and I made this one, and this is called Sweater Weather. So this one was blue with
Awesome.
a bunch of gold glitter. Um, and then here's Foxy Jam. She she makes beautiful clay hooks too.
Oh,
This
wow.
one the only one I've gotten from her so far, but I
Yeah.
really love the details that she puts in it.
Yeah.
And then let's see. I'm afraid to grab the ones on the top.
Oh,
But
yeah.
there's so many hook
You
makers
go
out
get a
there.
step
They're just
stool.
so yes. But amazing, amazing people. Mrs. B Crochet, she's got some clay hooks. We've got knick-knack knots. She
Yeah.
has some hook yarns and loops. Sorry if I'm butchering anybody's name.
Oh, no. I understand. Yeah. Yeah.
And Colleen, Luxie Loops. We've got My Darn Yarn. Amanda, she's amazing too. I've got a
Yeah.
couple others.
Well, and I'm at that point, my husband and I have talked about for a while that we need to do a hook guild where,
Yes,
we can bring all of the hook makers together
this
because,
is so
and,
fun.
it can be difficult, I think, again, wondering like, it's the whole community over competition. I feel like it's that whole mindset of being open to, helping each other versus, and obviously like, there are some things where we're like, we took a long time to figure things out, so we don't
Yeah,
want to give everything away. But I feel
yeah,
like we want to be helpful, especially
yeah.
when, and again, because a lot of us collect hooks ourselves. And like I said, I feel like a lot of my best customers are like, oh my gosh, I love all of these people. Like, bring in more. This is amazing. You know?
Well, what's amazing too is like everybody has their own style. I feel like if I were just scrolling through Instagram, not even looking at a name, I'd be like, oh, this person made this. Like I could tell that they did that
Yes.
because they have their own
Yep.
style, and everybody has their own like shape and length and material and like colors that they gravitate towards. So
Hmm.
like you really get a feel for the maker themselves
Yes.
by looking at their hooks,
That's so true.
and
I didn't
and
even
that's
think
so
about
fun.
that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like room for everybody. There's absolutely room for everybody. And I feel like I know with me, like if you are interested in doing it and you have questions for me, like please email me. Like I will do
Yeah.
the best I can to help you through it. Because I know at least with like resin, huge learning curve. It took Kyle and
Yeah.
I a good 7, 8 months to just even come up with one hook that would work. We
Yeah.
actually still have our very first hook. Would you like to see?
Yes,
It's so bad.
I would.
So this is before we learned to do the thumb rest. And
Yeah.
like look how much space.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, so
Oh, you're good. You're
I'm
good.
nasty, that's why. But this is something else. But I'm
But look
proud of
how
it.
beautiful. I mean, the pour is beautiful.
Thank you. I've
Yeah.
always loved colors so much. So it was like when we first did resin, I'm like, yeah, let's see how many colors I can get away with. There's like a couple
Yeah.
different glitter mixes in here too. Just yep.
And like you
I'm
guys
happy.
you made your mold for that, or was that,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Uh,
That's
Kyle Kyle makes our molds for us. I always get really nervous that I'm going to mess up the silicone material. So I'm
yeah.
like, I'm going to put it in your hands, Kyle. Can you please do this for me? And he still makes all my molds for me.
So I would love to hear a little behind the scenes of, like you said, it took a while because you said you were doing soap, and we've got to talk about that a little bit too. But you guys decided, okay, we're gonna try this. So
Yes.
what did that look like? Was it like, let's just order some stuff off of Amazon and just do this? And like, did you do it, at night on the weekend? Like, was it just whenever you had time? Like, what did that look like for this
So
process?
we sat in front of YouTube forever. I mean, like once again, YouTube. But we were
Yeah.
looking at like how to make molds and like we ended up getting just like a cheap silicone mold
Mm-hmm.
kit
Like
from
a kit.
Amazon. Just like one of the like translucent ones from
Mm-hmm.
like Let's Resin.
Yeah.
And then we were playing around with different shapes and we tried this one first because I
Yeah.
like really loved this shape. It was
Yeah.
supposed to be really long and just
We
like
think
fit in
about
the hand.
furls because
Yeah,
both of us liked furls, so
yeah,
that it's a
very
good
much so.
size.
And I've got like large hands, so I really
Mm-hmm.
want like something that's gonna like hang
Yes.
past my palm so I don't have any of that irritation. But so we're playing around with shapes, and then we uh we kept trying to make this mold in particular work. But then I was like, it's nice, but like I really want a thumb rest. And I think you and I had
Mhm.
talked about this before, but
Yes.
I have hyper flexibility or hyper mobility in my hands.
Mhm.
So for like most people, they can bend their hands like this. Mine goes farther. You'll
I
see
need to
sometimes
see. I need to try. Yeah, that's about as
yeah,
far as I
you
can
can
go.
like mine can
There.
go pretty far.
Yours is a lot
And then
further than mine.
it wears on my hands. And my hands and my wrists are really like weak because of that. And
Yeah.
then my thumb, so my thumb like pushes back a lot. Like I try like when I'm taking pictures, Lindsay always gives me a hard time. She's like, "Watch your thumbs," because I always like want
Uh,
to pick them out. But
it's kind of like the pinky for some people of
right.
like, put your pinky down.
So when we came up with this design,
Mhm.
I wanted to make sure that I had a thumb rest that was going
Yeah.
to feel really comfortable for me for that, so that I wasn't overextending my thumb with like a shallow thumb rest. I wanted a nice
Mhm.
groove that my thumb could fit into
Yep.
without putting pressure here, and then
Yep.
I would be able to have it hang off of
Yes.
my hand, and then have that nice ergonomic shape in the middle to hold on to. I
Yeah.
am a knife grab. And
Hmm.
so I wanted that to be super comfortable. And then if you're a pencil grip, I wanted it to also hang
Yeah.
up in the middle there and have it be a nice sloped thumb rest for your fingers. But I don't know, if anybody is a pencil grip who uses my hooks, do you feel like it's too long for you?
Yeah.
That's something I've always wondered about, because I know that having the longer length was important to me as a knife grip.
So I think it's interesting too, because we're at that point now that we're just starting out with kind of that hybrid hook style.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing is like we all have different preferences.
Yes.
So like I know for me, all of my hooks are designed around what I would want because I'm gonna use them and I don't know. And I know for me, let's see. So this is one of the ones that we've got right now that's 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I want to be able to still like kind of reach up and have that control, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to be where I'm having to hold way up here and then I'm not taking advantage of that grip. But I know there are some people who want that thumb piece, but then like I don't. I'm like I don't ever rest my thumb on the thumb rest. So for you guys, did you end up offering different kinds of styles? Have people ever reached out for customs where it's
Yeah.
different? What does that look like for you? And for anyone
I
watching who's interested in your hooks.
So I've had to have this conversation with a few people who've asked for custom designs for their handle. And what I usually end up doing is trying to tell them of different hook makers that might be a better fit for them. So it's like with
Gotcha.
Lindsay, with my little lodge, like she did a lot of custom stuff. If maybe you're a pencil grip and this will fit a lot better for you because of how she has her thumb rest, like I'd recommend that. So just, I guess, maybe trying to send them elsewhere who might benefit them better. A lot of work goes into actually creating our shape and our molds, and then and we've designed pretty much everything to go around that. And so I haven't wanted to offer different shapes because I feel like that almost gets too complicated for me.
Yes.
And I'm trying to like make my process as simple as possible because it can be a lot. I guess the way that I set up my shop, I'd rather be able to offer a lot at a time and have them all be the same and be able to almost like have this like factory line.
Yes.
Rather than a bunch of different shapes that I have to figure out what's going to work best for that shape, if that makes sense.
Yes. I mean, we were to the point where we're like, should we offer them not glued in and people can glue them where they want them?
That's
And then it's like,
idea.
you know what I mean? So it's
actually,
but it's going through that process of like, like what can we do to make it custom without putting it? Because again, it's like, well, we don't want to glue them in place and then nobody buy the longer ones.
That's true.
So like when you're having these, you don't want
Maybe,
stock that's not going to move.
maybe if I don't know how you have yours set up, but maybe it'd be worth having that as an option of it being like unglued or have it be glued. And I think that'd be really nice because I know like Susan Bates users in particular, I know that I have had people ask me to make mine shorter because I keep some of the length. Let's see if I actually have.
And the baits are difficult because they're so much shorter than the boy hooks.
There's like a fine line between sinking too much of the hook into the handle versus like too much.
Not having room for stitches. Yeah.
So let me see if I can grab one real quick. If anybody is curious about that. You guys get to see a design I haven't showed off yet. So we keep that much exposed. We felt like if you are the type of person who maybe likes to choke up, you could at least have a foam rest there if you need to, or you'd have the length to be able to put your stitches there. This is Water Lily. I haven't shown this one yet.
Oh, it's so pretty. It's almost got like a watercolor feel.
I made this one for my mom and then decided I had this one too. And so this was a really special hook. I'm excited to tell the story about this one on my profile.
Well, and you should totally, if you haven't done it in a while or ever, you should totally show off your hook collection that you've got in those planters because
I
that's such a
really
cool,
should. I've been
yeah,
kind of thinking about doing a like craft room tour, see if anybody would be interested in that. Kind of get
yes,
more like behind the scenes of this space.
yeah, for sure.
Kyle built this for me, and it's
That's
like this
awesome.
like 6 by I think 12 feet long room. It was like a converted porch when we first moved into
Gotcha.
the house, and then he built all these cubbies for me. Let's see if I can tilt it down. I've got
Yeah,
my
that's awesome.
and then these are my hooks.
Uh-huh.
But the space here is my workstation, and I've always wondered if anybody would actually want to see that or not, and kind of
Well, we have
show.
multiple people saying yes in the comments.
Okay, I will have to do that for sure then. I think that would be
Yes.
really
Well, and I was going to show you. So this was when, and again, like it's such a process of figuring out the right lengths and like what you want to
fun.
stick with. So our one of our first releases with the baits, this
Mm-hmm.
is, this is what it looked like with the baits. It's almost all the way in there. So you can
Yeah.
see that's where the thumb rest starts. And I was using it and I was like, I feel like it could be just a little bit longer. Like it's almost perfect. But again, that's my out from my
Yeah,
preferences.
it's hard to see
And
like what
so
people would like.
that's
Yeah.
the difference. That's literally like it's maybe 2 or 3 millimeters, but it
Mhm.
was just
I
enough
mean
of a difference.
that does make a
Mhm.
difference when you're
Yeah.
actually crocheting. So it really just depends on the person. So I really do like the idea that you can offer it unglued, so maybe somebody could put it in
Yeah.
there as they want it.
If they feel crafty, because some
Yeah,
people are going to be like, no, because I'm going
yeah,
to just ruin it. Yeah.
yes.
Or what glue to use. I mean, I think that's we're still in the process of trying different types of glue and,
That's also true.
or did we use resin? Like, you don't know until you get to try it and see how it works. And
Yes.
um, so
It's a huge
I
learning
would
curve.
love to talk a little bit about your soap making experience, just because I feel like we all have different hobbies. And so the soap started before, or
Mhm.
like, had you done any monetization with crochet or knitting? Like, were you selling anything?
No, 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 no. I
Okay.
power to people who can do that. I get bored very easily.
Okay.
Like I need to be able to move on to the next thing. That's why with like crochet hooks and my themes that I do, that's what
Mhm.
keeps me motivated. So I
Yeah.
cannot like make things to sell. It just or at least like crochet stuff. With when I did soap, so I got into soaps when I was about 23, 24.
Mhm.
And I did
You
my
already have kids
own.
at this
Yes.
point? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I have a 12-year-old and I have a 9-year-old. So and I'm 32. So I started with soaps and I was doing it on Etsy and Instagram,
Mhm.
and then I got like really burnt out by it, and I decided to put it down for a while and then just focused on being a stay-home mom. And then I worked for a soap shop locally and kind of did that for a while, and that was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
And
Did they
then
make the soaps like in the, yeah, that's
I
cool.
made the soap in the store in front of people with people. We did a lot of background.
Wow.
That was pretty cool. And the owner, she liked to do candles, so
Mhm.
we had like a wide variety of things that we did. Um, but with COVID, the store shut down, and she had to exclusively be online. And about that time is when we figured out our crochet hooks, and I had just started Safari Crochet on Etsy.
Yeah.
So the timing was kind of perfect, but it was sad.
Yeah. So what was it like when you decided to make crochet hooks? When did you actually share that you were trying to make them? Did you share a lot of that journey, or did you kind of wait until you had something that you felt was ready
I
to sell?
I if you go to like the very first few posts that I did on Instagram, you'll see some of the hooks that were somewhat successful
Hmm.
with the shape without the thumb rest. And then you'll start seeing more of our, like the shape that we have now. So I didn't really share a whole lot of the process of it. I just kind of shared pictures and would try to explain like what I was doing or like what the design was. I'm a very like shy person, so I usually don't like showing my face. I've gotten more comfortable with it over the years, but at first it was just kind of like, nope, I'm just gonna post pictures and that's it. And like they don't need to know about me. They don't need to like see behind the scenes.
But they want to.
But now that I'm like doing this, I'm like, why have I not done that? Like, I went to Our Maker Life over the summer and I got to meet incredible people there. And I would be having a conversation with somebody and then be like, oh, like, what's your Instagram name? And then be like, I've been following you for 2 years, but we just didn't recognize each other.
Yeah.
And so it was like, wow, I need to show more of myself, like show that I'm a person behind the hooks and show our process and maybe throw more of myself into the business. I need to like conquer that fear of being shy, and which was kind of perfect because then you had asked me to do this and I got invited to do a podcast and I was like, well, those are two doors that just opened and I better walk through them. So it was kind of perfect.
So I would love if you had any advice for people who are like you and are saying, you know, I have something that I'm trying to do, even if it's not in the fiber community, like maybe you started making jewelry and you just started an Instagram account for your jewelry and you're really shy. And I think it's important to put your face out there to have the connection because people want to support you, not just purchase your jewelry. And so even like getting yourself ready for today, like what were some of the things that you did to kind of say, I got this, you know?
Friends being very supportive. Shout out to Lynn, Brandy, and Megan because I was so nervous. I'd be like, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. But then they're like, you've got this. Like just have fun with it and be good and know like you're just being you and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that if you're a person starting out and you're really shy and you just start with pictures and then maybe you start more about yourself in your posts and then maybe post a picture of you with your product and then maybe get more comfortable with stories or see if you can do collaborations where you're going to expose yourself more. Baby steps, but like push yourself a little bit. I think like you'll eventually get there, but yeah, just maybe outside the comfort bubble a little bit.
I like the idea of baby steps and getting out of your comfort zone slowly. So giving yourself kind of,
And it's kind of a nice, like, slow introduction to who you are, too. And if you're a shy person, like, sometimes, like, that, like, wading through the shallow water is a little bit easier than just jumping into the deep end. But there's some people out there like, here I am, like, these are what I'm making. And it's just like, I am not that person. I need baby steps.
Yeah. And I hope anyone watching, too, because I know my account may seem just like you said, I just throw myself out there, I share my stuff, I go live. And it wasn't like that all the time. I mean, up until 2020-ish, I think, I didn't show my face either. You know, I had pictures of my work and, you know, my hands working. I had the top down of me, you know, working. And I used models for a lot of my stuff. So I would photograph other people wearing my stuff, using my stuff. And very uncomfortable with the idea of going live because I felt like I wasn't that great of a public speaker and I said too much or, you know, all of these you know, and I would lose my train of thought. And it's nerve-wracking because you don't want to feel humiliated or silly. And I think
sorry, I was going to say what I love about your profile is that it's like you're unabashedly yourself. You've put yourself out there and it's like a wonderful thing to see. I think there can be so much fear with exposing yourself. feeling like somebody's going to say something mean, or maybe you're not going to say the right thing, or maybe you have braces and you're really nervous about showing that off, or
Yeah.
so it's just like we're human. We all make mistakes. We all have things that we're working through, and I think it's the more that we see real people and like real smiles and funny faces, and I think we can normalize that we're not like these perfect models who
Yeah.
say and do the right thing every time. And I
Yeah.
think it took me a long time to feel okay with that, because it's just like being really shy or insecure or feeling like I'm going to do or say the wrong thing. I didn't want to show myself. So it was like
Yeah.
now it's like I need to show more of myself and show that I'm human and not just this person hiding behind a screen showing you hooks.
Yeah. And I feel the this idea of, not being like other people. I mean,
Mhm.
I know when I first started my account and I would look at some of these other accounts, and I won't name them because it's not a negative thing that they
Mhm.
had beautiful accounts, but I was like, I don't have this beautiful forest background. I don't have, this look to me that's this, like I used to follow all these accounts that were very earthy and, forests and earth tones and or
Curated.
beautifully, huh?
Very, very curated.
Yes, and I tried to be like that. So I tried to curate and look like those accounts, and it was so difficult because it
Yeah.
wasn't natural.
Yeah, it's like coming back to that whole everybody has a style. Like if I were
Hmm.
to look at a picture of yours and not see the name, I would know that it was you. I would know that your aesthetic for the yarn that you like, or maybe something that
Yeah.
you're doing. And that's, to me, that's like beautiful because it's so unique and personal, um and I hope that more people just become themselves and be
Yeah.
themselves on social media, because when you be yourself or show yourself, you really show a style, or you become your own aesthetic, I guess.
Yeah.
Hopefully that makes sense.
Yes, and it's finding yourself and your style
Yeah.
too. I think that Instagram and for me, crocheting and designing really helped me grow into like, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is, what I want to put out in the world and what brings me joy. And it took a long time to get there. It took
Yeah.
years for me to figure out, okay, this is pretty, but it's not really me. This is what maybe other people would want to see, but I'm not really enjoying it.
Hmm.
Um, and even just with personal style, like I was a hot mess trying to grow up through high school and college and trying to find a style. And I feel like crocheting and designing helped me find my own style. I made my own stuff.
I love that. I really do. I really do. I think it's a good time to like get out of that like cookie cutter
Mhm.
mold and then just like be yourself. I think it's a good time to not be scared to do it anymore or be that way anymore.
And I feel like I'm seeing more of it. I
Mhm.
don't know if you feel
Me
the
too.
same way, but I feel like
Hmm.
more and more people are just unabashedly saying, this is just who I am.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, you don't have to follow me. And it's not a negative. It's just
No, it's
everybody's not everybody's people. Like,
exactly. Yep.
yeah.
Yep. I can
And
agree
there's
with that.
so many options. There's so
Yeah.
many options for people to follow and be friends with in the fiber community that, will fit your aesthetic and your personality, and you can really find some great friends.
Yes, very much so. And I feel like you kind of just find the spot where you're watching people that bring you joy, or you're communicating with people who make you happy. And Instagram has for sure been that for me. I've met so many amazing people through Instagram that
Yeah.
I would have never met otherwise, and they become a huge part of my day-to-day life.
Yes.
It's been,
So we have a few more minutes,
yeah.
and I really did want to talk about where you or what the process is for your inspiration, because you did talk a lot about the different collections and hook colors really keep you feeling excited about it. So what did that inspiration and process look like for you when you're picking all of that
So,
out?
um, I I can kind of get inspired by like anything. This recent set that I'm doing was actually like a summer project for myself. I really wanted to make myself a tulip Etimo set, and
Mhm.
I wanted each handle to be special. That could be something like making a hook for my mom and wanting to have a matching hook with her, or using making a special handle for Tony at TL Yarn Crafts and wanting to also have one, or a
Mhm.
remake of something Kyle did when we first started and having an updated version of it. So this set is more personal. When I do things like the recipe set, it was just like, wouldn't that be so fun to like post recipes for
Yeah.
the Instagram like description? And so that kind of became a thing. Or I really wanted to make a mushroom hook, and I kind of it went from being like a mushroom hook to like, let's do a forest theme. Like that could be so
Mhm.
much fun.
Yeah.
Or my next set, I'm getting into making the handles now, and
Mhm.
I'm having a lot of fun just like picking out colors or like coming up with different names. Sometimes it could be coming up with a name and for a handle, and then I come up with the colors, or maybe I'm going for like a vibe. But this next one is kind of around witches. So I'm having a lot of
Mhm.
fun with that one. I feel bad kind of saying that now because it's like I'm still coming out with this set,
Yeah.
but the next set is like loosely Halloween and witches, and I'm having so much fun coming up with like the names or the colors or things I can put into the handle. Um, just I can get inspiration from anything. It could be a song, it could be a color, it could be yarn, it could be a
Mhm.
person being like, "Hey, let's do a space set," um, or it could be a gift. Just anything really. But being able to narrow it down into a theme keeps
Mhm.
me from just like making all the things and have it
Yes.
make really random. But it allows me to really just like focus and pick out colors, names, or maybe something fun that I'm doing with the Instagram post, like
Do
recipes.
you do you keep like a journal or anything for all these ideas where you're narrowing it down, or is it just all in your head?
I created um, a image of our handle, and
Mhm.
sometimes I'll sketch out what I want the hook to look like, and I'll just start listing
That's
out
cool.
names and colors. I have a folder on my phone where I'll take screenshots of like a color combination that I like or a name that I like, and then kind of just like browse through that. So just keeping tabs on my inspiration, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so that's usually what I end up doing.
I love the idea of it's almost like you've got a coloring page for your
Yeah,
hook. Is
exactly.
that so? I have an idea for you, and if you
Okay.
hate it, like you shouldn't do it. But I'm having this idea of like a contest or a challenge where you let people download that
That
coloring
would be so
page,
fun.
and the
Oh, okay.
winner
I
you make
love
the
this
hook.
idea. Yes. Okay. So, I've actually been thinking about doing something kind of like that for
Yeah.
custom. Like, 'cause I usually try to do something like 7 or 8 designs per set. And I was like,
Mhm.
wouldn't it be fun if I just had a full set of like custom work? And
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out how I would do that. But I love the idea of the coloring pages. I think that'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, and then like you could pick a winner, and it could even be a random winner, like you
Yeah.
could pick a random winner, and then your next set will be like that, and they could get like one of them for free because that was their design, but then the other ones can be for sale. That sounds like so much fun.
It would be fun. Yes, I love this. I'm glad I talked to you
Yeah.
about this because I've been
Yes.
trying to figure out
Anytime.
how I was going to do it, and I love this idea. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it all goes back to that community because I feel like there's never enough in my mind that we can do to thank people, for wanting to spend their money on the products that we're making and to be so encouraging when like you're supporting me on one end of purchasing our stuff, but then like you're over the top supportive, just, on social media, commenting and reaching
Oh
out.
yeah.
And
Hmm.
I feel like any way that I can get people involved and like let them feel like they're part of the process, you know, and that we take
Yeah.
feedback and that we want their opinions to a point, because that's what my
Yeah.
husband was like, because there is a point where it's like, you know, the process to get to a finished product is sometimes so difficult that when the first thing you hear is like, well, can you do this instead? It's like, we just
Hmm.
spent months getting this right, you know? So I think, you know, it's been humbling for me to do a better job taking constructive criticism, because I know that it comes from the right place when
Yes.
people are reaching out. But
Yeah.
sometimes we get, and I think it's like the artist mindset of like, but I just worked so hard on this and we're just not appreciating it. You know, we all
Yeah.
have those voices, you know?
Mhm.
But I feel
Or
like that would be a fun way, you
yes, I
know,
do think that's
to,
one. I wanted to add because it's like I get a lot of messages about custom work or like they have an
Mhm.
idea. Like
Yeah,
never feel like you're not allowed to talk to me about stuff. I might not
yeah.
always take custom work on because
Mhm.
it can be a lot
It's a
getting rid
lot.
of your set.
Yes.
So I decided personally to just like step back and not do custom stuff. But like
Hmm.
if you have an idea, please message me because
Yeah.
chances are if I'm like, oh man, I love that so much, like I could build an entire set around it, like and I'll make
Hmm.
you the hook type of thing. It just kind of something that happens organically.
Yes.
But I don't like taking on a ton of things all at once or getting I imagine for you too, like getting a lot of feedback or the constructive criticism when you have too much of it going on, it can be so overwhelming. But
Yeah.
just having some of those organic conversations is nice. I
Yeah.
know for me, for like theme sets, being able to have somebody message me and just be like, I had this idea for a
Yeah.
space handle, and then
Yeah.
it turned into an entire space set.
That's
Or
awesome.
we did like a rainbow set like that before too. I had one person who showed me a picture and she's like, is this possible to do a handle? And it ended up being like an entire set. And it was so fun.
Awesome.
I
Yeah.
would have never come
Yeah.
up with it on my own. So,
Yes. And I mean, you know, our hybrids came because for years people are like, will you make smaller hooks? Will you make smaller hooks? And I kept saying, no, we're not making smaller hooks. You know?
I've been waiting for the smaller
Yeah,
hooks.
but the bug is in your head, you know, like I knew that it was something people wanted. It was just, it had to be the right time, because that it's
Yes.
the new product development. New product development is,
And a lot
you know,
goes into it.
my dad teaches an entire class at Auburn University, a college course on new product development, because it's not easy.
No, no, it takes, it's a process.
Yeah,
It's definitely a process. But
yeah.
I will say, when you get clovers in your handles, I want one.
So I did want to ask you, with the Clover handles, because I know that a lot of hook makers cut their hooks off to put
Mhm.
them in
Yeah,
the handle.
we do too.
Um, do the Clover handles come off of
Yep.
the Clovers?
So, we have, I will have to show you specifically how to do this.
Yeah.
But we kind of hook the clover onto something, and then Kyle just like wiggles the silicone off.
But
When
it's
we
not glued.
first, it's not glued. Some like
Okay.
the bigger handles are harder. The plastic ones, we have to cut and grind those off. There's no taking off that silicone sleeve. Um, but we've like just cut the silicone and the metal all at once and just kind of pulled pieces off. It's just
Hmm.
kind of what we're in the mood for. Kyle typically does that part for me because
Yeah.
it's really hard on my hands. I can do the smaller ones fine, but I can't do anything like bigger than a 4. So he's usually the one in charge with that stuff.
Well, and I asked because I did realize that the boy, uh, let's see if I can find one. Here we go. Like all my hooks were about to fly out of there trying to get this one out because it's rubbery. But these can't come off. And so that's why I wondered, you know, the
Oh, they
boy
can?
handles. Yeah.
I don't think I've
Again,
ever used those.
yeah, I don't know if I can get it off of here, but you can tell when you push on it, it moves. So it's not glued.
But then Susan Bates has a set that's supposed to be like
Yeah.
not soft, but it is glued
Yeah,
on there.
we can't get that one off. Or at least we can't. I think we've
Yeah.
tried and we couldn't. Especially when hooks were really hard to find. With like right after COVID, just trying to get any hooks, that was hard.
Yeah.
But I think tulips are kind of hard too. We just started trying to do more of those for the shop and for me, because that was like personal set. But,
Yeah.
like, right there, maybe. But
So what do the tulips look like? Do you have one that you can show? Because we've only bought Bates and Boy so far.
here, let me do this. So they're a little bit sharper than Clover. The material, it's that same tapered hook, and then it's really glossy. So that's what
Is that like a Clover? Is that like a Clover? The style of the actual?
Very simple. Let's see. I've got this Clover right here that I can show the difference. So they have similar kind of shape, but this one is a little bit more rounded at the top, and the material is not quite as glossy. I'd say there's a little bit of friction there, which is nice, especially if you're doing something with like a fingering weight yarn, which is my favorite. But I think having
we are on opposite ends of the spectrum. What the?
I know. And so I was just like, I need to get one of your hooks, but I like never use anything very like very big. And so now that you're coming out with the smaller ones, I'm just like, yeah, I need a Clover. It needs to happen.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to look into it, but it's like you said, it's one step at a time. We talk about baby steps. You know, the Boy and the Bates were very accessible, so we had those, and just started out with Boy because that was most accessible, and then added Susan Bates, and then we'll look into the other ones as we move on. But yeah, it's definitely been a journey. So we will have to look into Hook Guild. That's another step in the journey.
Set that up. I think that's so amazing. I really do.
Yeah, and I think we are right at an hour. And I'm just super, super thankful that you were able to come on, and I hope you enjoyed it.
I did. This was so nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. This is
and
really
it's not so scary. It's not so scary, is it?
No. No, I think I was more nervous just like leading up to it, and then it was once we were talking, it was fine.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's another thing for anyone who is nervous about going live. If you can go live with someone else, it just makes it so easy. Like you can just talk about what you're working on. You don't have to go live for an hour either. Like say it's going to be 20, 30 minutes, and have someone that you can chat with. And it's a lot easier when you start out that way, and you'll get more comfortable. You'll find out what people want to listen to and hear about. But if you guys came on late, if you missed the first part of the video, you will be able to rewatch it here on Instagram on my feed. But I also have a playlist over on my YouTube channel that has all of the episodes of Pink Sheep and Friends. So if you need something binge-worthy to listen to while you crochet, you can check that out at youtube.com/pinksheepdesign, same as my Instagram. So you can check that out there. It'll be up in 2 or 3 hours probably. But I think we're done for today. But I hope that you guys all have an amazing weekend. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have good weather and you can do something fun. I think it's a long weekend, right?
It is. Yep.
Yes. So are you guys doing anything for the long weekend?
I have a baby shower to go to. I'm really excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exciting. All right. Well, thank you again so much for coming on. And yes, have a great weekend. And we'll have to do a catch-up session. So I have started bringing people back on. So maybe if you have something exciting coming up, maybe even pushing out towards Halloween, we can talk about your new hooks. But we'll have to come back for sure.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Yes. Bye, guys.